Okay. Okay, so Arvin, this is yours, right? Just acknowledge, then I'll give you the feedback, just in case I get the wrong file. Correct? Okay. Okay. First feedback. I think most of it is correct. Based on what okay, I assume this one is here. Based on what we discussed, just maybe this part here. Okay. Why? Okay. When you write a statement like this, right? Okay. You're referring to this entry. So for example, one entry of order belongs to how many customer. Okay, so this one, right, one entry of order, if you think nobody can order the same order, you must order one order at a time. So which means your here is 1:1. Okay, then this one is based on this one. The opposite side is based on this one. So basically you got your thing swapped okay. But I know what you mean. Okay, but it's the thing swap. So here is, let me see if I can extend us. Here is one entry of customer belongs to how many orders. Then if you think basically one customer can have many orders. So this is one dot dot many. Understand? Understand? Okay. So understand? So this part I just tidy up a bit. Okay, so this is star. This is 1. Okay. So also double check if you think this thing is correct, right? You open in a table and see. So what will a table look like? Let's say your customer order, right? So orange, you got an ID. Just now what you did was this many going to here, then you have your order ID foreign key, right? So if you think of it this way, right, every time a customer order, right, they have to keep adding, order number 1, order number 2, sorry, order number, what the hell, order number 1, order number 2, order number 3, order number 4, order number 5. So if you see this kind of thing happening, means this logic is wrong already. So if you see this happening, means it's the other way normally Okay, so like I said, if you go the other way, this is ID, this is customer ID. Then every time a customer orders, right, you can have the same guy that order, but he have different order. Example. Okay, so just take note. There's a few ways to consider. Each customer, yeah, this is correct. One delivery information can belong to order. Yeah, this is correct. This part, I think your here is also opposite, but I don't know why yours is the same. Normally, categories can have many books, because one here, so here should be many. It's like the fiction category, there's like 1,000 books, so one too many. So for this side is one category belong to multiple books. Then here, okay, I understand. So category 1:2. Okay, as long as you have 1:2, anything higher than 1, you have to put a middle box like this one. Okay, so that's the rule. I don't know what you mean by this, but okay. Okay, so there should be a middle box here. If your tier is 1:2, 1 is too many, okay, there should be a middle box here. Okay, so this is, let's say, book dash category. Okay, then I leave your line.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Why is there a need for what's it called, a box for categories?
Okay, I know.
It's part of like, sorry.
Okay, let me explain first. Then you got any questions?
Okay.
Okay. So previously, right? Okay, I don't think I have my slides. Hang on. Where the hell did I keep my slides? Where's my slides? Is it here? Okay. previously this is the question, right? Okay, I did not say that one book can have many categories. I also never say that one book cannot have any categories. So it's up to you to assume. When this kind of thing happen means that you have to ask the client whether this is possible or not. Okay, so if you don't understand, you have to ask client. But in the case of problem statement, you can just assume. So if you assume, okay, this statement can this category statement, right? You can say one book can have many category, or you can also say one book only can have one category. Okay, it's either way is fine. Okay, so I just highlight this. Either way is fine. You all can assume either ways. So for Arvin's one, I think he assumed one book can have two category lah. Okay, so as long as you have two category and then one category can belong to many books, you need to have this thing here. Can understand? Anyone can understand?
My thinking is like why cannot like nest it into like delivery information or like order table as one of the columns?
The category, is it?
Yeah.
Can also, but okay. Sometimes when you have this table called category, they have certain information within this category that people want to browse. So for example, if you go to a library, library website, okay, news type, hang on, news type. If you go to a library website, sometimes when they have their website, then they have their menu bar, right? Then this menu, let's say there's like a few categories. So let's say there's fiction, non-fiction, newspaper, whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, when you click on their functionality, right? Let's say you click on fiction, then inside here they'll say, okay, fiction. We have books. Basically their description. So inside a category, they need a category description. You get what I mean? So the category description is different from a book's description. Both are the same description column, but they need a description column. So category become one table. Example. Okay. So yeah, but besides that, everyone is fine. So just take note for all the feedback that I have. Ang Yong, you sent over already or haven't yet? Okay, never mind. Let me go through the rest. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Let me go through the rest. Then we start today's lesson. Let's go. Brian, you're here, right? Okay. Brian is here. I go through Eden's one first, because Eden is on the WhatsApp. So, okay. This one, yeah, same thing. So one book belongs to one category. This is what he mean. One category belongs to many books. This is okay. One order can have Eden, can you explain why is this one to start? What's your thinking behind this?
The top one, is it?
Yeah, category. Can you see? Oh yeah, category.
So how many like categories can be inside one order, right? So your one order can order many different type of categories of food.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like different types of books, something like that.
Okay, I know your understanding. I get what you mean now. But some of the links not necessary lah. But I will show you all later. I'll show you later.
Also,
Okay.
it's not necessary to like put.
Okay. I kind of know what you mean by all the links. That means when you make one order, you order one book, but this book belongs to one category. But then you can buy many books, so you buy many category. Is that what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I understand what you mean. But later I'll show you how. Okay. But the main ones I'm looking for is here. One user can order many order. Okay, you should have a middle table between order and books. Okay, I say okay, basically if you see many to many, you should have a middle table. So I expected a middle table here lah. But I just want to know what's your thinking behind that category first. Okay. But here definitely you need a middle table. Okay. Order can one derivation evolve to one user. Okay. So basically the main ones are here, correct, here, correct. Sorry. Here don't need. Here, correct. Here you need a middle table. This one, this diagonal one. Okay. This one don't need. this one is okay. This one is okay. So basically it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
For your the tables one, I don't really have an issue lah. That's fine. For Arvin's one also, I think no issue. For the tables, no issue, no issue. Yeah, no issue. Okay, now we go to Brian's one. Brian's one, okay, is almost perfect lah. I will say. So y'all can take this example. I think this one is like that, right? Okay. Sorry, Brian, easier to see like that. Shift a bit. Okay, so for Brian's one, this is his table. Okay, this part I think you all see before, right? This part I don't have to explain again. The only thing you don't need, Brian, is this one, user order table. Can you explain what you mean by, okay, why you have this table? Brian, yeah, why do you have this table?
Let me think about, because I think one order can delivery to different address, so I assume that one order can have many users.
Oh, no. One order only have one user. Normally.
Yeah.
Normally one order, one user. So your line should be just like that with this one here. Like that. Okay, so without this one. Yeah, this is the only thing that is issue. The rest is fine. The rest is fine. Okay, I'm just gonna use his table and a reference, but I show you all the so-called example. Okay. Okay, this is a project that is over already. I think yesterday I forgot. It's not upcoming, it's over already. Okay, so we see our problem statement. Okay, I try to put it beside here. Okay, so whenever you see your problem, you just highlight every single thing that you can find that is a noun. Okay, so category is a noun, book is a noun, buyer is basically user, so this is a noun. Client is the person making the database answer to it. Okay. Blah blah blah. Each book bought by each corner will be delivered to one address. So basically there's a delivery, right? And then blah blah blah. Don't have. Okay, so here you can see 4 main ones: deliver, buyer, category, book. Okay, so this is the 4. Wow. Okay, this is the four main ones that is there. So we just create 4 first. So book, user, delivery. This one I know already, and category. Okay, the one that is hidden within the thing that you all can infer is the orders, right? I mean, user can buy, means can as orders. Okay, usually in orders, the main term when we develop okay, we change your mindset a bit. Main term we call it transaction. Okay, because transaction is when you make the order. The middle table between transaction and the product, we call it order. Okay, this is how we do. So the standard, this one definitely is here. This one definitely is here. Okay, then we have, okay, I'm just gonna copy. Okay, then we have, oops, one to one. Here is many, and here is many. Okay. User make transaction. Okay, so one transaction only can belong to one user. This is correct. User cannot make many transactions. Okay. Okay, now we come to the category and the delivery. Okay, I think delivery you all know already, right? Don't have to bother. So we're just going to put, okay, yeah, no space. Delivery. Okay, so one user can have many, and one delivery only belong to one user. Okay, now come to the category. Category belong to books. Okay. When you have many categories, it's also possible. Okay. So let's say you all want to go under assumption of many categories. Then we have a category book table. Okay. Then we link. So one category book table belong to one book. This one is star. I think this is Arvin's concept, right? Okay, how does this table look like? Okay, so explanation is here. Let me. Okay, let's say this is the category table. Then you have the description, the name, location. Because you know, like sometimes the store can be different store lah. Okay, but never mind. Let's just do with three first. This is a categories table. So you got one and blah blah blah. Cat 1, 2, cat 2. Okay, then we have the books table, right? So sorry, ID, name, title, actually the same thing. Written by, date, publish, example. Okay, so one book can have many categories. So it's a bit weird to do this. Cat ID, sometimes you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can have many categories. Okay, so therefore this cannot exist. But then one category also can have many books. So this also cannot exist, right? Which means we need a middle table. Okay, so what the hell? Insert middle table. Oh wait. Okay, this is a different table. Okay, so we need a cat book table. Okay, this is the ID. Okay, then here you just throw all your foreign key lah, right? Because if it's 1 to star, here will be the foreign key. So cat ID, book ID. These two basically useless. Okay, so we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. Okay, so one category can belong to one book. This same book also can have another category. Example. So if you have a different book, right? If you have a different book, it can belong to one category also. Okay, then this one is just the unique stuff. Anybody got any question from this point? Okay, no question. So your relation here is basically 1 to star, right? Okay, so 1 to star, 1 to star. Okay, the opposite, the other side is the same. Okay, just illustrate to you. 1 to star, 1 to star. Okay, any question? No question, All right. So this is the ER model that you all need to know. If you want to get Brian's one, you all can message him for it. Okay, I'm not going to share anything. All right. Okay. Okay, don't save. Okay, today we'll be doing more programming stuff. Okay, so please open your project folders. Okay. In e-commerce, right, we have oh, this is not okay. In e-commerce, we have many different functions, right? But one of them is products and adding to cart, which is something you all haven't learned yet. So this is something we're gonna learn today. Okay. Okay. Let's go to our data list. Data list. Okay. We have I think you all know what this page is, right? So this is the okay, using the same Coolites database, we will work on this data list, the same Coolites one. So we have all the products here. Okay, how do we add them to the cart, or how do we view them as a list of cards? Okay, so today's lesson will be slightly longer. Later on, I will finish maybe around 12:30, 12:45. I give you a break. Around 3 plus, I will start again. If for those of you who cannot make it, we just watch the recording can already. Okay. Okay. So normally, okay, in a data list, right, we will have, let's say, a button just below the product title. Okay. So if you go to your ASPX page, right, here normally we'll put a button. Okay, so we drag a button. So we call it add to cart. Okay, but the difference is here we don't put a on click listener. Okay, we just put a button. We don't call the event add to cart. Okay, so what it looks like currently is just like this. Okay, the button is here. Let's add a few breakpoints. So I don't want the button to stick to the product. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, so in data list, okay, just like any other drop-down list checkbox, there is always a on-click kind of feature. The feature is called on item command. Okay, on item command. This feature, okay, it's slightly a bit complicated. It's not the same as drop-down or that, but if it does almost the same thing. Okay, same thing, create new event on item command. Okay, so on item command, what happens is this. Whenever you have, let's say, a button, right, you need to fire a sort of command. Let's say I want this thing to happen when I click the button. So the command you call is declared by command name. So the name, let's say you name it as add to cart. Okay, later we'll use this. I'll show you how. Okay, the second thing you need to declare is your command argument. This is the value of the data table that you want to pass back into the CS file. Okay, so the value, just use the same thing as all these texting here. So for example, how do you identify a single data list item by? One way is you use the product, but some people, they have the product's same name, right? So that's why in our here we have the ID. You don't see the ID in here, but it's used to call back the command argument. Okay, so same thing, you declare eval double quote ID. Make sure it's the same, small letter. Okay, make sure it's single quote, can already. Okay, so what happened inside here? Here we have our data list product item command. We need to get back the product ID. So how do you get back is e dot command argument. Yeah, let me double check. Double check. E dot command argument. Correct. E dot command argument. Okay. So this is dot to string. Okay, remember data view items are, we don't know whether they are string or not, so we have to convert them to string. Okay, so you declare it as string command arg equals to command argument to string. Okay, then we have our switch statement. Okay, why do you have a switch? Because sometimes in your data list item, you can have two buttons. One to add to cart, one to, I don't know, view more, see description. Okay, so you identify by e dot command name. Let me check, double check. Yep, e command name. Okay, so just now, remember we did it as a add to cart. Okay, so you do case string add to cart colon. Then make sure you break. Okay, because every case there's a break. Okay, so this is the first step. Okay, how to tell whether this happens or not? Maybe you can edit something lah. For example, label username dot text equals to command arg. Oops. Command arg. Okay, then you can see whether the ID goes through. So for example, page 3, the label is somewhere here. If I click this one, my ID is 921. If I click this one, my ID is 976. If I click this one, my ID is 1031. Okay, at this point, anybody got any question? No question, huh? Okay, so we carry on. Yeah, yes, Brian.
How you can auto generate the function?
How do I generate a function?
Yeah.
This one. Okay,
Yeah.
so on top, your data list, data list. Okay, declare this on item command. On item command. Okay, so on item command, hang on, I'll show you again. So originally your data list function is like that, right? So you on item command equals for you is great. For me, I can just use the same one. Yeah, okay. You all can do while I do then I will stop once in a while. Okay, because this is it's not a very easy thing to understand. So I will take more time on this. Okay, so basically we are okay, step one is you print all the items onto the data list, right? Step two is when you try to click the button, you want to take something from the data list back into your C file. This is when the user click add to cart. Okay, so now I know the user want to add, let's say number 921 to the cart. He want to add this thing to the cart. So this is the value, the ID of the product that we want to take. Okay, then this is where we have to create our own cart session. Okay, all carts normally we call store in session. Because when the user close the browser, right, we don't want them to save their values. Okay, so one way to clear session values is like, for example, we did the username password. One way to clear is you close your entire browser. Make sure your whole browser internet is all closed. You open again, you will never get back your session variable. Okay, so how do we create session? Okay, in a cart session, there is a few things we need to do. So first, maybe you can go to app code. Okay, you open, add new item. Basically, we are creating a class, Visual C# class. We call it cart. Okay, so the cart has a few things. One is the product ID. Make it public. Okay, just open curly, get colon, set colon. The other thing is the public string product name. Do we call it product name or is it product in here? Oh, it's product. Okay, let's put it product. Product. Oops, product. Get set. Okay, public string. Let's say quantity. Or quantity, then we should do integer, right? Integer. Get set. Okay. Public string quantity description, don't you care. Price. Get set. Okay. Then here just declare all the what is that product? The constructors are product ID, string product, integer quantity, string price. Okay, then all these can remove. So this dot product ID equals to product ID, then just repeat for the rest. Oops, okay. Repeat for the rest. So basically, we're creating a constructor for the item called cart. Okay, but cart doesn't reflect in the database. There's no database table called cart. Okay, we don't need a database called cart. Okay, so we have the cart item. Okay, now we go back to page 3. We declare list cart. Okay, sorry, I leave it on top for you all to see as I go through. Okay. Okay, list cart, let's call it cart list equals to new list cart. Brackets, declare. Okay, once you declare, once you declare, we start adding. Okay, so remember we took back the ID, right? Okay, so just remember this. Okay, integer product ID equals to convert dot to integer 32 command arc. Okay, so we're converting it back to integer. Then we want to find out, okay, what is the entire product description the product attributes for all these things. We want a product, we want a quantity, we want a price. So same thing, we can just go to your SQL statement, right? Can copy these few parts until the close. Okay, so connection, command, open, read. From the command, select start from product, where ID equals to single quote. Right, then we put in the product ID. Okay, so select start from product where ID equals to this. So you only get one product, right? So product, new product equals to new product. Okay, for this one, we don't have to care whether it's product or not. We just use for the cut. So instead of product, we use cut. Okay, cut, new cut item equals to new cut. Okay, then copy your constructor, see what you need, right? So we need the ID, we need the product, we need the quantity. Okay, quantity you can leave it blank first. We'll add later, and we need the price. Okay, we need the price. So we need, sorry, price is price. I think it's price. Okay, so from here, yeah, just put quantity first. Let's say add one. Okay, so whenever we add to cart, we just add one. Okay, then from here, once it's finished, okay, we list, okay, sorry, cut list dot add new cut item. Sorry, this should be inside. This should be inside. After you add to cart, this should be inside. Okay, so now we have our new cart here. Okay, we need to try and add it to session. So how do we do that? Okay, session variables can only be string, integer, double, or this. It cannot be an object. Okay, so how we do that is we will create a whole string, but is delimited by a certain character, for example. So the string format looks like this. Okay, ID. Let's say we put a star. Okay, product star, price star, quantity star, then a break. So if let's say some guy orders another product item, he does the exact same thing. Oops, sorry. It will be like that. So the session variable, the string will look exactly like this. Just the variables will change. Okay, so if let's say I make 5 different cart orders, it will look like this. Okay, so the string will be damn long. Okay, so how do we do this? We use a for loop. For x equals 0, x less than cut list. Oops. Dot count. Okay, and then x plus plus. So then you list okay. String, sorry. Never mind, this was string. String cut ID. String, what is that called? Cut product. I'm just declaring everything first. String cut, what's the next one? Quantity. String cut price. Okay, so now we declare ID will be cut list dot element add whatever number this is dot product ID semicolon. Okay, now because it's string, this is integer, so we have to change this to string. Okay, reason for to string is because I don't want to keep converting again and again. Okay, so this one will be product This one will be quantity. This one will be price. Okay, this string is a bit opposite, so I'm going to just put it the other side. Okay, so try to follow your format on the object. Okay, if it's ID first, then ID, product, price, quantity. Or if it's quantity first, then ID, product, quantity, price. Okay, so you do it this way. Okay, once everything is in, we create string cut item equals to, okay, so cut ID plus open star plus cut product plus open star plus cut quantity plus open star plus cut price. Okay, once this is done, at the end, remember we need to have a line or the or symbol. Okay, so once we have one whole list of items, then we can just we declare on top string cut string. So cut string plus equals cut item. Okay, so as every for loop goes, your item will just keep going more and more and more and more lah. Okay, so then last one is just to session.add. Just name it as cut string, same as the variable cut string. Okay, this is how we add to cut. So recap. First one is you get the item. Yeah, sorry, you got planes. Okay, first step here, you get the items from your data list, right? As a command argument and a button. Wait, the planes here develop. Hang on. Okay, yeah. A button, command argument, the ID goes into here. Okay, so your command argument will be an ID. You change it to your product ID. Then you search through the database for the details of the product. Okay, so start from product where ID equals to this product ID. Then you put the details into the cart. Okay, later I'll show you how to add more than one quantity later. Then cart list.add. Okay, so your cart list will have whatever items that is in the what's that called, the whatever they added before. Okay, and then inside this card list, okay, we bring it into a string. So for example, this is a string. Irritating. Can you hear me if I talk like that? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear the planes at my place?
No.
Cannot hear. Okay, so I cannot hear. Okay, so yeah, change the string, everything put into the string, add to the one long string that you have. Okay, and then add to session. Okay, this is when you want to have one product, one quantity by itself. Then let's say there are already things in the cart, right? How do you get them to come together? So let's say there's already things in the cart. Okay, what we do is we need to retrieve back the cart. So before you add to cart, you have a okay. This two is definitely on top. Sorry, this two is definitely on top. Before you add to the cart, okay. You declare a string. Hang on. You pull this string on top. Okay. So this is where you analyze what the cut items are. Okay. So cut string. Okay, actually you can just put it here. Equals to string session square cut string. Okay, let's say there's a session variable already on the session. Okay, for this case, right, because there's not always a session variable in there, okay? So what I always like to do, right, is a two-step way, but inside here you do a, what the hell? You do a try catch, but your catch has basically nothing, okay? Reason for this is if you try to take a session variable that does not exist, you have error, okay? So this is how you bypass the error. The error is not intentional because sometimes there's really no session variable. So you just use a try catch, okay? So if there's nothing, basically the cut string will just maintain as blank. Then you'll go into the error, the catch place. But if there's something, then the cut string will have some value, okay? So if cut string not equals to null, okay, means there's something inside. Okay, then we need to split. So we say string cut items array. We do it as a array. Okay, not a list this time, it's a array. Cut items array equals to cut string dot split. Okay, this lesson a bit more difficult, so I understand when you have questions. Okay, so why we split using this? Because every item, as you see, oops, I deleted it. Every item that you see before, right, actually is ID star, listing star, quantity star, price star, is split by this line here. Okay. Never mind, just play. Just don't care. What is it? Okay, guys, hang on. My house got something. Okay, so we split by this thing, right? Okay, then we need to split by different items as well. So string cut item. Okay, same thing, we have our this thing equals to, sorry, before this, for x less than cut items array. For array, we call it length instead of size. Okay, x plus plus. Okay, so for every array that you have, every cut item that means the whole string, we have to split, equals to cut items array x dot split. Now we split by the star. I think it's character. Yeah, character. Okay, so then we create our object, right? Remember here we have the list, right? So cut new cut item equals to new cut. Okay, so remember the position. 0 is ID, 1 is product, quantity is 2, price is 3. So cut item 0, 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, now the problem is this. Some of it is integer, some of it is string. So this is definitely integer. So convert dot to integer 32, cut item 0. This one will be integer also. Convert dot to integer 32, cut item 2. Okay, then we add it to the current cut list. Cut list dot add. Okay, so you may notice we are adding like kind of twice, right? We are adding here and we're adding inside the SQL statement as well. Okay, so the SQL statement still maintains. However, we will change the statement a little bit to check if the ID already exists. Okay, so basically, if just now the item is product ID. Okay, so while hang on. Okay, so we have here we have another for loop. Maybe you name it differently. Y less than. Now we use this cut list, cut list, because everything is already in object, right? Cut list dot count y plus plus. Okay, open. Then we check if here we put integer existing status equals to 0. Okay, later I tell you why. If cut this dot element at y dot product id equals to product id. Okay, so we loop lah. If it equal to product id, okay, what we can do, sorry, we shouldn't compare to this, should compare to, yeah, actually this id, correct. Okay, if it's equal to product id, then instead of adding a new item, we just cut this dot quantity element at y dot quantity, is it quantity plus plus. Okay, so this is for existing. Like if you already have 921 item inside there, you want to add another 921, it should be numbered, it should go up to quantity 2. Then if you keep adding, you just keep adding. Okay, and then oops, we add existing status equals to 1. So then if let's say the item is a new item, we use this existing status. Okay, if existing status equals to 0 still, okay, then open, we close after the cut, and then we add this. Oops, close too fast. Okay, yeah, and then we add this. Okay, so basically if it doesn't exist, it's a new item. Okay, we create a new object by itself, and then we put a quantity to be 1, and then we just add to the list. So now if there is an item in the cart, right, in the cart here, okay, we will, let's say there's 3 items, we add 3 items into the cart, so the list now has a value of 3. Okay, then let's say there's somebody add a new item that is different that he wants to add, then he add already, it will be added here as well, so then the item will be 4. Okay, after that, this list will go through this same thing, we will loop, and then it will be added to session again. Okay, at this point, any question? Any question? Any question?
Can you explain the last part again?
This part?
Yeah.
Okay, this part is where, okay, you have a whole list of objects, right? So we have a list of cut objects. Okay, we need to convert them into a session variable, but the variable must be in string because the object can be in integer or whatever. So okay, how do we convert to string? Is basically you list down every single attribute of the object into a like a string builder like that. Okay, so this is a long string. So for every item, I put the ID, I put the product, I put the quantity and price into a variable. I lay out the variable according to this list. Okay, and then this list is a string, sorry, into this format. I add this format into the overall cut string. Okay, so this, oh sorry, before that, cut string, you need to empty the string before you add again. Okay, so this cut string will contain all the objects later on. Later I show you. So before this, I will label username dot text equals to cut string. Okay, just to illustrate. Okay, let's see from here. Okay, now the label should be empty if I'm not wrong. Okay, empty. When I add to cart, what happens is this button goes in. It goes in. Oops, this is the cool one. The button goes into here. Okay, add to cart. It calls this function. Okay, it will take the ID, let's say 921, into this product ID. Okay, then I will check, is my session empty? Currently now, yes, it's empty. So when it's empty, it will not go into this statement. Okay, it will just check what is the product ID details. Okay, then it will take all the data from that single product ID, right? Okay, then we'll check, does this thing exist? Currently, it shouldn't exist because the card string is already empty. So this card count will be 0. So it will not even go through this for loop. Okay, this existing status will maintain at 0. Okay, if it's 0, we go into here, right? We create a new card item. Okay, the card item will be added to the cart. Okay, and then sorry, and then down here, right, we refresh this card string just in case. Okay, so once this new item is added to the cart, you will have one item inside. One item inside will be the card ID, the product, the quantity, and the price. Okay, and then we lay it out according to this format here. Okay, then we add to the card string, and then it adds to this. We print it out lah. Okay, once we print, we put into session. So give you an example. Why always got so much error? Okay, example, add to cart. Oh, sorry, object reference not set to an object. Hang on, so we got error. Object reference not set to an object. Oh, what line is this? What line is this? Object reference not set to object. Cut, new cut. Sometimes this is the error. Let's see. Okay, that's the error. Okay, so you see, 921 is the ID, star is the delimiter, right? So this is the title, round what LCS something something. This is the quantity, and 55.22 is the price. Okay, if I add another thing, let's say I add this one, square LCS something, right? I add, oh damn it, hang on, why input string not in the correct format? Input string not in the correct format. Okay, hang on, pass integer 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think it's this. Hang on, give it a second. Add to cart. Add to cart. Yep. Okay. Okay. Correct. Later I explain to you all why it's -1. Okay. Okay. So if I add new item, it'll just keep adding. It'll just adding. If I add the same item, okay, here you see 1 here. You see another 1 here. You see another 1 here. If I add the same item, this becomes 3. Can you see? If I add, this becomes 5. If I add again, this becomes 6. Okay, so now the cut session is like that. Okay. Okay. Why do I add this -1 here? Okay, it's because, okay, let me illustrate to you in the text. Okay, so the cut string has ID, product, quantity, price, star, and then like that, right? So this will be repeated throughout the whole whenever you add to cart, right? Okay, so what we are doing with the string split, right, is basically first we split by this thing, right? So what will happen in the array is we have a array size of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one is blank, or 5. So it'll be like a cut item 5, where 0 will be this without this. Okay, then 1, 2, 3, 4. What the hell? 1, 2, 3, 4 will also look like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. But 5, sorry. 1, 2, 3. But 5 will look like this. Okay, so this array actually is an array size of 5, but you only have 4 items because of this the line delimiter that we use to split, right? Then this is the first step, right? The second step is we split according to the item within itself. So this whole process is basically this part. Okay, this part. So when you split according to item, so cut item dot split, whatever, right? So it will be splitting this, right? So position 0 will be ID, position 1 will be product, position 2 will be quantity, and position 3 will be the price. However, you know that this array, okay, cut in the individual array has a size of 5, because if you split by all the star, there's this star that will split here and here. They will always count the last one as well. So this, the last one will be a null value. Here also will be a null value. Okay, so taking note of this, right? We don't want to split this item position at the last one. So that's why we do length -1. So that it will go, let's say the length is 5, it will go from 0, 1, 2, 3, and it will skip 4, because 5 - 1 become 4. So once the cut length is 4, it will just cut off the for loop. Okay. Why we skip 4 is this split doesn't work on a null value. You cannot split a string that has nothing inside, basically. So you'll cause an error. Okay. So yeah, this is how you add, and then you add to cut, blah blah blah, and then you get this string here. Okay. Anybody got any questions so far? Any other question? Oops. Any other question so far? Okay, don't worry, I'll send this file to you all later on. I'll send this file later on to you all. Okay. Now we want to try and display what we see on the card. Okay, so let's have another page now. Okay, let's do it on another card page. So we will try. Oops, sorry, not new folder. What am I doing? New item. Okay, let's call it. Oops, Visual C web form. Let's call it page file. Page file. Or let's just call it card. Card ASPX. Okay, master one. Okay, in the card, right? Very simply, what we will do is we will have just a data list. Okay. Same thing, we have item template. Okay, this one I just want a repeat column of 1. We just want one column, so the card will be in one line. Okay. Okay. So what is the format of the card? Format of the card will be something like this. Normally people like this. Table. Okay, we have the first column and we have the second column. Okay, so anything inside item template is basically how the data source will look like. So if you have a table, basically it will look like a table. Every single item will look like a table. So here maybe we have let's say an image. Okay, and then maybe we put width equals to 100, height equals to 100. Okay, you can use this way or you can use style. Either way is fine. Okay. Here we will put a few details. So for example, label. Okay, the first label is product title, product label price, 30. Okay, all this make it blank first. Okay, then the table maybe we with 100%. Sorry, style with 100%. Okay, what am I missing? Okay, with 100%. Style with maybe we just put 30 is enough. Wait, go away. Okay. Hey, baby, come here. He's under your table. He's under your table. Come here. I keep him out already. Okay. Style with, sorry guys, with He went under a table. Okay, so 70% is all the details. Image is 30%. Okay. Okay, so now we need to pull the cart items into here. So same thing as in page 3, right? We declare a list of if not is postback. Hope you all still remember what this is for. This cut this. Okay. Then string cut string. Why you cannot detect? Oh, because the name is the same. Okay, card page. Okay. Then this one must change also. Card page. Now should we can? Yep, can. Cut string equals to blank. Try open cut string equals to string session bracket cut string catch bracket. Okay, then change it back to object. So you can just copy lah. Copy this entire thing. If cut string equals to blah blah blah, then you add to object. Okay. Then we can convert to integer blah blah blah. Okay. So for every cut object, okay, we will try to display the object into the data list. Remember, to display in data list, we need our I collection, create data source, list, cut list. Declare this. Return now first, just as a temporary. Okay, so hope you remember how to do this. Data table dt equals to new data table. Declare. All right. If you're lazy, you can just go back to page 3 and copy, which I am, right? So just copy. Okay, any question at this point, just say, okay? No need to worry. Okay, so we want to display the product as it is on the display, right? So here we need one more thing instead of dt column. Sorry, space here. Dt column, we need one more quantity. Okay, but since we are following the cart, right, try to arrange it according to it. So cart, product price, quantity before that. Okay, then we have an image because whenever you build a cart page, right, you want to let your customers see You want it to see, oh, this is the thing that you're buying, for example. Okay, so cart list.count, correct? We insert this should be ID. This should be product. Oh, this is product ID, right? This will be quantity. Doesn't exist yet. Quantity. And this will be your price. Okay. DR. Now come to 4. So for every time you loop, it's possible that you want to get the image URL from here, right? So we can put a SQL statement inside, basically. Okay, we copy the SQL statement, we put it inside, declare all the declare all the commands. So I start from product ID, where product ID equals to, you take this, you paste here. Okay, so here dr is taken already because the variable is taken. So just put like dr2 lah. Okay, easy. dr2. Then we remove this part. Okay, remember DR4, right? So DR4 equals to DR2 image URL, not to string. Okay, you guys know that sometimes the image cannot see, right? For this image. The thing is, wait, let me see. Okay, this, why is it like that? Hang on. When image new tab. Okay, this image, right? The string actually consists of something like this: curly slash assets slash something. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace the single curly. Maybe I need help for toilet. Sushi go toilet. Replace, yeah. HTTPS wholights.info. Okay, basically, oh no, you never. Okay, and then you will need this dt rows.add dr data.add. Okay, so until here, anybody got any question? Anybody don't understand anything? Okay, so if you're all okay, nobody say anything, maybe you add something on the master page to link to the card lah. So instead of here we add, you can just put okay, you can choose either you put link button or you just put a lah, simple lah. A href link to, where's my card? Card. Okay, then we can try and play. Play. Okay, so where's the card? Shit. Okay. Where is the card? Sign in. Where is the card? Is it white color? That's why. Oh, there's no word. Card. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so there's a card button here. So let's say I add this one to card. I add this one to card. Okay, currently my card got so many things, right? Let's see the card. Oh, return now. I see. Hang on. Hey, go up. Return. Hey, where's my? Oh, okay. Sorry. Program error. Cut. Wait, what's happening? Let's see. Oh, right. We haven't created data source. Okay, so data, wow, that's quite dumb. Data list one dot data source equals to create data. Oops. Create data source. Put in our card list. Data list one dot data. Wait, hang on, guys. Hey. Go inside toilet. Okay. Sorry, my house very busy today. Data bind. Okay, let's see again. Yeah, here we see. Image still cannot come out. Where's all the stuff? Okay, the stuff is not out yet because we didn't put this thing, right? So single quote, arrow, percentage, val. This is product. Copy this. On top will be image URL. Instead of product will be image URL. You walk around a few times, be careful. Image URL. here will be, I don't know, is it single, is it small caps? Yeah, small caps. Oh, image UI also small caps. Okay, this one also small. And this is what? Quantity. Okay, sorry guys, try again. Yep, here you see all the stuff. There, the image is out. Only this one is not because they never upload the image properly. Okay, until here, any questions so far? Anything you want to understand? Anything you want to understand? Okay, you want to ask, I just carry on. Everything that I've taught is in the test, okay? So if you want to understand, I will explain. Okay. Okay, so this is how you print in terms of like that. Okay, this is how they view in cut. So same thing, if let's say they go back to, is this page 2? Let's see. Oh, okay, sorry. Let's say they go back to page 2. Don't go to page 2. Go into page 2. Are we on page 2? Page 3. Page 3. Okay, page 3, right? So the more things that you add, the more things that you add, your string will just become longer and longer and longer. All right, see them long already, right? Hey, let's bring it to the end. Bring it all the way to the end. Okay, then you go to cut. You will see that you order a lot of different things. Okay, so this is how you display into cut. Let me see. Okay, so recap on what I've done so far. First thing is the data list, right? We have a on item command. It's like a button click. What happens when you button click? Okay, on item command, you declare a button. Don't declare the on click listener for the button. Okay, the on click listener will change to, instead of on click listener, is command name and command argument. Command argument, make sure you use the ID to pass it back to the C program. Okay, inside your C program, you create your item command function. Okay, this item command, you receive back the ID. So command argument will be your ID. Okay, then you check for whatever command name you do something. So if the command name is a button, okay, you add, you change the command argument, you know it's an ID already. So you put it into product ID. Okay, then cut list, you get back the previous cut string from the session if there is one. Okay, if there's nothing, you just keep this whole part. Okay, if there is, you put it into a string first. You split the string according to each cut item. Then you split the cut item according to each cut attribute. Okay, then for every attribute, you add it into the cut object. The cut object, you add it to the list. After you add it to the list, you need to check if this cut item, if the cut item that you're going to add. So for example, this product ID. Okay, this is the new one, this is the existing one. Is the new one an existing item? If it is, okay, you increase the quantity by 1, and then you change the status here. If it's not, you add a new object into the cart. Okay, then you add it to the list. Okay, in the end, by the time you close the SQL statement, you will have a list of cart items which is current and the previous one, which is the moment the guy just press add to cart, you have everything ready. Okay, you need to blank out the string because you need to create a new string. This string doesn't exist anymore because you just added a new item into the list. So then for every item in the cart list that you have to redeclare the string. Okay, so for every item you add into here, then cut string equals to cut item. Okay, so basically you plus the string for every item you have. Then you, okay, this is not necessary. This username not necessary. You don't have to print out the string. Then you add it into the session. Okay, then if you add it to session, if you go into a different cut page, right? The cut page is very simple, right? Just data list, table, blah, 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 like that only. It's one column only. I have to put with 100%. Okay, one column only. Then you declare everything the same as a data list, right? You go into your code. This same part is the first part of the card when you add to card. So you declare the list, declare the string, take the string from the session already. If the string exists, you add stuff into the card item object. Okay, take note, this card item object is always -1 because the delimiter is always behind, is always null. So yeah, also this card item is actually an array of 5 but here we only use 4 items. So card item 4 is actually null. Add the item to the list, okay? Then declare your data source. So data source, data bind, this one you already know already. Create data source, put card items into this. Instead of products, now we have the card format, but we need to show the customer the image URL. So we need to add one more. Okay, so this 4 is existent in the card, no problem, but the image is not. So for this 4 is the same as the product data list. The difference is we have to add a new SQL statement to check for the image URL. Okay, for image URL, just because for this project is in curly. Curly just means the local folder that the image is stored in. Okay, so change the local folder to this website, which is the domain of the client's domain. Okay, then you should be able to get the image already. Okay, then you display in the list. Once you display, you should be able to see the list just like that. Yeah, it's bigger. Oops, now my card is empty. Okay, so sometimes the session will blank out if you make changes. So if you add, you can add again, you can add again, you can add again, add again, add again, add again, then you go to card. Yeah, now you'll see the list is like that. Okay, any questions from the floor?
What if the card
Yeah.
page is like full, like a lot, like too many like products?
Then we can always add a paging thing but that part when we are developing, I'll teach you because some codes already are there already. But I just need you all to know this card function. How do we add the session? How do we once you add the session, how do you list down? How do you print out Okay, so this sorry, any other question before I continue? Ang Yong, relating to your question, basically if you keep adding, you have the list very long. You need to scroll down. Okay. For now, we just leave it as it is. I'll teach you how to do paging later on. But for here, right, you notice, right, this data source, right, is not limited to any object. Like previously, I'm not sure if you all think that this data source that we have in the page 3, right, which is basically our product page. The product page is limited to basically whatever's in here. So everything is inside this object list, but it's not. You can always add other things if you know that you need it. Okay, this is the way how we add, how we utilize foreign key. Okay, so if you all relate to your assignment yesterday, right? So I know just now Eden did a lot of crisscross items. So let's say you want to print order. Sorry. You want to print a transaction list of orders. Let's say, okay. So you have the transaction ID. You have the inside the transaction. You have the total price. You have the total, I don't know, quantity. You have the date. Okay, then you want to print it out from the user's perspective. Okay, so what you do in the this is inside the create data source part. Okay, one data list can consist of many tables, no problem. Okay, if you have read the SQL, right, you can actually select star from different tables, but that's not what we're going to do here. We're going to select star from different tables and then add together into the same data source or data table. Okay, so the step 1 basically is select star from transaction table, right? Then we know that, okay, according to, let's say I use Brian's one. According to this one, transaction, okay, sorry, I'm confusing. I remove this first. Transaction is this one, order table, right? The transaction table is related to the user table. Want to start, this is 1 to 1, right? So in the transaction table, you will probably have something like user ID, which is from the user table. Okay, so user ID would be in terms of, let's say, 1, right? So then you have when you select star, okay, then there's the dr.read, right? Normally you will only select one transaction statement, right? So for each user ID, so if let's say you take dr user ID, let's say dot to string, right? So what you will do is you declare integer user ID equals to dr user ID to string. Normally what you do is convert to integer, right? Convert to integer to string, right? So this user ID will be like a certain user, right? So what will happen is, this is your step 2. Select star from user table where ID equals to user ID. This is a variable. This is a variable. Just take note. Okay. Then you have the user stuff already, so the user ID will be here. You have the user, the name, address, I don't know, contact, right? So this whole table is in the data source. It's not the table itself. Just don't confuse, okay? Then if you want to add some more things, you can also add user, I don't know, you can add, what does the table look like? You can add a product also, right? You can say select staff, select staff from order book where tx id equals to tx id, sorry, where id equals to tx id. Because if you take all the transaction, right, you will have the table looks like this, this part only, right? So you can always declare integer tx id equals to, then you do the same thing here. Tx id to string. Okay, then this thing ID can be here, so then you select already, then your data source can have all the books already. So that's how you link different tables, which is why you don't really need, for Eden's question right just now, you don't need to link. As long as one table is linked to something, that means as long as, for example, this table is linked to this, because by this one, right? So this user you can display, you can display user, order, books in one whole data source by itself. So you don't need like that. Okay. So as long as they are linked, it doesn't matter already. Okay. Any question? Any other question? No other question. Okay. Now question from me. Who can come on later at 2 p.m.? Can you all respond? Who can come on later at 2 p.m.? Hello guys, who can come on at 2 p.m.?
2 p.m.
Yeah, 2 p.m. 2 p.m.
Can it be later a bit?
Later a bit. What time you all want? 3? Brian, Eden, Arvin? Will you all be 3 p.m. can? Eden and Brian?
Actually, I got some work in the day.
You have some work in the day. Okay.
Yeah. I cannot join, and I will watch the recording later.
Okay. Eden, are you free later?
3 p.m. around until what time?
We do maybe 2 hours normally.
Should be okay.
Should be okay. Should be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, whoever can come on 3 p.m. can. Ang Yong, 3 p.m. is it okay for you?
Yeah, can.
Can. Okay, whoever is on, you'll just come on. Okay. I will leave I will leave the Zoom on if you guys want to look at the code, but I will still send you all the code, so no worries, okay? You all just come back at 3. I'll leave the Zoom on. Okay, y'all just come back at 3. I will send you all this document. Y'all can go and look at it. Okay, what I want y'all to do now is try to do this. Try to learn what is all this code. Okay. So and now until 3 p.m. y'all can take your own time and study the code. Okay. Any further question from now? Any further question? No question. Okay, y'all can leave whenever you want. Okay. See you at 3. Those who are coming.
Can you send me a copy of your code?
Yeah, sending it. Is it the WhatsApp? WhatsApp
Okay, thank
sending
you.
it.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. See you later. If you guys, if I'm not here and y'all want to ask me question like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, also can. But just text me on WhatsApp. Just say, send me, I got a question. Then I'll come on Zoom. Okay, if the room is open, I can just come in. All right. Okay, see you all.